What is happening, everybody? I'm excited you're here today. We're talking about how to get more enrollments. So, if you need more enrollments for your martial arts school, you need to hang around because we're going over 3 ways to do it. And listen, I know we got a bunch of people joining on live right now. So, go ahead and put where you're actually watching from. So, hashtag live, and then your city, your state, your country, wherever you're watching from. Do we have some people from the south, up north, across the pond? Where you guys at? Let us know. And if you're catching this on replay, hashtag replay. I go back, I check to see who all is watching every single time. But listen, we're digging in to how to get more enrollments. So if you're not consistently enrolling 20 students, 30 students, 40 students a month, there is a bit of a challenge. There's a bit of a problem with the systems that you have in place. And so today, what I want to do is I want to show you and kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on some of these systems that we use inside of the Seven Figure Dojo. Bernie says Cold Lake, Alberta. Way to go. We got some Canadians in the house. Super pumped you're here. Thanks very much for joining. So, when we're thinking about enrollments and getting people involved in the school, one of the things that we have to do is we must make sure that we are following up on any lead that we get. Here's what I see a lot of people do, and this when you change this one thing, I guarantee you're going to get more people coming in to try out your class or to do like what we recommend inside of the Seven Figure Dojo program to do an evaluation. Once you can establish a pattern of follow up, everything else becomes easier. Let me explain this to you. You get a lead from however you get them, the website, you get them from Facebook or Instagram ads. If you're running ads, you get a lead at the grocery store, whatever it is. You phone them up, you text them, they don't respond. Usually that lead stays in your phone, or maybe you have a system like Spark or something like that where the lead is in there. But how often are you actually following up? Well, Jen, wait a second. I do follow up. I do follow up. I follow up, the next day. If they haven't reached back out, I follow up the very next day. And my question to you would be, how many times do you follow up over a 14-day window? The reason why 14 days is really important is because in that 14-day window, you should have followed up about 28 times. 28 times? What? I want you to think about how many times have you seen the same ad on a Facebook or Instagram or on your TikTok feed and you haven't clicked on it, but after you've seen it over and over and over again, you finally did click on it. In the society that we're living in today, people need repetitive reminders and they also are used to ignoring things. So, like if you look at your phone right now, I guarantee you there's messages that you've ignored. And I guarantee you that there's messages that you're waiting to reply back to that you will forget about until the next time you're in your phone. And that person goes, Hey, you forgot to message me back. Everything cool? And then you message them. Now, those are close friends and family that might be on your phone that you're messaging back and forth with, not a service or a business that you've never actually had any contact with. Is this making sense, guys? If this is making sense, give me some thumbs up in the comments over here. Tim, it's good to see you, sir. Glad to have you here. Drop in where you guys are watching from, everybody. Hashtag live in there. Put where you're watching from. I'm going to continue talking about the other three keys. So the first one is the fortune is in the follow up. You need to establish a follow up system at least for 14 days where you're consistently following up. Now, the next question is, should this all be automated? Should this be manual? And I will tell you that when we work with our clients, we put a combination of both in place. There should be automation, but there also should be manual actual outreach. Okay. The reason why you don't want to just leave this to all automation is people know that it's automated. What about AI, Jen? What about AI? Isn't AI out there and isn't it working? Yes. And there are learning patterns that are happening all the time. We're involved in part of the cutting edge processes on that side too. But the problem right now is that when people respond back and they respond back in things that aren't complete sentences or are in messages that are fragmented, like how we naturally talk, AI is not yet to the point of completely recognizing what is being said and then translating that into an actual conversation to set an appointment. Are we getting close? Yes, we're getting close to it, but it's not quite there yet. And besides, when it does get to that point, there's going to be something else out there where you are going to have to differentiate yourself from everybody else who's also going to use that technology. And some of that is going to be in the human touch points that you give. Okay. People really still want human interaction in the business that we're in. People want that human interaction. They want to be able to see another person. They want to be able to train in martial arts or have their child trained by a mentor that's in person in their local community. So you've got to follow up. You've got to stick with that follow up. And guys, look, if this is making sense to you, if you're really like, I'm into this, I get it, but I want more, you need to head over to the YouTube channel, not right now, but later, where you can subscribe to our YouTube channel because I drop videos like this all the time. It's designed to help the martial arts industry really be able to learn these things that we've learned inside of our own seven-figure dojo. And for those of you who've never heard of me before, quick backstory on this. Grew up inside the martial arts school. Me and my family had a school all the way up until 18 years old. It really wasn't that successful. We were doing about $5,000 a month. At 18, we invested into business coaching, mentorship, business coaching. It changed everything for us. And in 4 years, that's right, from 18 years old to 22 years old, we took the business for $5,000 a month up to seven figures a year. And we've been doing it ever since then. And so, one of the reasons why we're able to do that is because this next thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about, which are leading questions. Leading questions equals putting somebody into a buying mindset. So, if you really want to increase enrollments, what we're trying to do is we're trying to work on three different mechanisms to increase enrollments. So the first mechanism is we want to increase the amount of conversions we get from lead generation. Whatever that lead generation is, we want to increase that. That's that follow-up process that I was talking about. So if you're currently getting, only 5% of people that have opted into your website or have given you their lead information actually show up to the lesson, that's an issue. We need to work on the lead conversion. But now, once they're in front of us, we got to work on this metric, this conversion percentage. How many people show up, actually buy? Now, sometimes what ends up happening when we start working with clients is they say, all I just need people to actually show up to my lessons and then I can enroll them. And when we look at their conversion percentages, they're enrolling like 90% of people. And initially, that looks really great, right? You're enrolling 90% of people. But most of the time, that's because you're actually not charging enough and you're never profitable enrolling somebody, which means that you're always having to dig out of your back pocket for money to reinvest into marketing because you were never profitable acquiring a new student. So you can never redeploy any of that money to marketing. You're always at a loss until they make their first tuition payment the next month. So the real thing is, how do we increase enrollments? Well, if we increase our price, that 90% is going to go down. And sometimes when we increase the price, but we don't change any of the sales process, it goes down to like 20%, maybe 30%. There's an issue there. If we're only converting at 20 or 30%, that means that out of every 10 people who show up, only two, maybe three people actually get started. And I don't know about you, but having to fill the mats or fill the introductory lesson room for an evaluation with 10 or 20 people to only get 2 to 4 new students is an issue. And so what we want to do is we want to work on leading questions, which equal to a buying mindset. So what kind of questions are you asking that person when they come in the door that gets them thinking about actually making a buying decision and valuing what you have to offer more than punches and kicks and more than triangles and chokes? Are you asking them questions like, hey, you know, what brought you in today? Is it more along the lines of focus or confidence for your kiddo? Or, hey, are you here because you're wanting to, get in shape or just join a community? Whatever it is, you're going to want to make sure that you're asking those questions and you're getting them into that buying mindset. And that advice has been around for a long time in the industry. So that's nothing new. But here's the next thing that you're really going to want to look at. Are you asking them questions in the process that's putting them in that frame of mind to make a decision that day, to make a decision on what you are doing based off of what they see that day? Now, if you're doing a really long trial, you're doing 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and you're going, well, we don't ask that on the first day because we just want them to try it out. then you're letting them base their decision off of emotion only. And I don't know about you, but if you want the quality of your classes really high, like we do inside of our flagship dojo, every class is not rainbows and unicorns. There's kids that are out there busting their butts, they're sweating. They probably don't have a great class every single time they come because we made them work hard. And are they smiling? Are they engaged? Are they interactive? Yes. Is every adult out there going to leave and feel like they didn't work out because it was just like a powder puff workout or something like that? Probably not, because they're going to feel sore. They're going to feel like they actually did train and they learned something and they applied something. So, what does that mean? That if I'm wanting them to try it out and make the decision over 2 to 4 weeks, I've got to make sure that they fit culturally inside of that mindset, which they may not have. I may need to teach them that mindset. So I'd rather them make a decision on the first day or the second day rather than wait for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Is this making sense, guys? If it's making sense, right, makes sense in the comments. Let me know. Let me know. You guys are a little quiet out there and I want to hear it. Does it make sense? And if you have questions, drop in your questions. I'm monitoring the chat right now. Speaking of monitoring and questions and answers, at our live event we just had in March, we had an amazing Q&A round, and I can't wait to see some of you guys back at the June event, June 8th through 10th. We're hosting our next live event. You want to be here. We had an amazing opportunity for so many martial arts school owners to come in, to train, to be able to see exactly what we do inside of our flagship dojo. We opened up the doors, we pulled back the curtains, we showed what was inside the school, and we had a magnificent training here. Now, this particular one, we're going over back to school and back to school strategy. So make sure you go and you open up a new browser window, go to 7fdlive.com. There are limited tickets. So we keep these events really intimate and we do it for a reason. We want to be able to provide as much value as possible. And if there's hundreds and hundreds of people that come to this event, we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to take hundreds of people and put them here inside of our martial arts school and at the conference center and serve them to the same level. So, with that being said, there is limited space, and we sold out of tickets the last go around for one of our platinum tickets. It was completely sold out. So, I'd recommend that you head over to 7fdlive.com and you purchase those tickets. Now, the third and the final key that I want to get to you guys today that is going to help you dramatically improve your enrollment rate is going to be getting more people to show up. So we talked about getting the leads to convert to setting an appointment. We talked about enrollments on this end, but there's a middle piece that's missing for a lot of people, and that's getting more people to actually show. When I talk to school owners or I message them, that's one of the things that they tell me. They're like, yeah, we're getting in lots of leads. They just don't show up. And I don't really know what to do with the fact that they're not showing up. Well, part of this is because they have no reason to show up. How are you different than anybody else? What is it that you're offering that's going to get this person to go, yeah, I want to come and I want to show up because I'm excited about the opportunity? And if you're just like, well, it's an opportunity to try out martial arts classes, let me tell you that for the majority of people, that is scary. That's scary for trusting their kid to do something that they're not even sure their kid's going to like or be good at. And it's also scary for the adult who's like, I haven't worked out in years. What if I fall on my face? What if I get hurt? What if everybody laughs at me? There's a lot of things there that causes people not to show. So the more that we can do to share with somebody before they even given us anything, the more likely they are to show. And it's simply called the law of reciprocity. If I give you something, then you're going to probably give me back something. Like this. I'm giving you guys this amazing training, right? For those of you who would love to get some more information about what we do, it's as simple as typing info in the comments, and we will have a chat, no obligation. We'll just have a chat about what's going on in your school. I'll send you a DM and we'll start chatting about what's happening in your school and see if we can help with one of our programs. All you have to do is type info. Pretty simple, right? It's the same thing when you bring somebody inside of your school and you're asking them to set an appointment. What are you going to give to them right away? Is it going to be a free t-shirt? Is it going to be a water bottle? Is it going to be something that you're going to say, hey, Susie, I've got this waiting on you. Just wanted to know what size t-shirt that you wear so I can have the right size for you or for your kid, right? getting them to respond back with that simple hack right there will get more people to actually show. When we installed this for ourselves and then we did it with our clients, we went from having 20 to 30% shows from Facebook leads, the majority of leads coming from Facebook and Instagram, which are notorious for not showing up. And we got them to convert over. And when we got them to actually show up, we went from 20% showing up to 50% showing up. It's a huge difference. That's pre, I won't talk about the thing that happened in 2020. That's pre those numbers, right? Like back in those days, more people showed up, they were less flighty. And now to get back to that same thing, we've got to have those numbers and we've got to have the law of reciprocity. Okay. So, guys, listen, I'm really excited again about the opportunity to serve you guys, but this is only a level that we can serve you at here with just some information, some tips, all of that. And you're feel free to keep asking questions. I don't see any questions in the chat right now, but feel free to ask any questions that you have, and reach out and use this group, utilize this group for what it is. It's an amazing group of worldwide martial artists that are coming in here to learn how to grow their schools. Now, if you need some help implementing on the step by step side of things, then definitely just type info in the comments and we'll be happy to help you guys out with that. Until next Friday, guys, keep being awesome. And if you made it to the end of this video, hashtag team finisher in the comments.